Kirstie Alley gained 83 pounds. Next story.
No, but look, today is apparently the obvious story day.
Right.
You know, who thought Kirstie Alley won't put the weight back on?
Right.
Which person in America thought that?
Right, because Jenny Craig is something that's going to work for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people aren't getting this. If you don't do Jenny Craig the rest of your life, you're going to put the weight back on, and nobody's going to do Jenny Craig the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. And especially her, man. She's from the Glenn Beck school, where you take the chocolate milk and you put the butter and the lard in it and you drink it up. She said the minute she got off the diet, she hit the my favorite part, we did this before when you weren't here, I think. She took the gym out of her, you know, where she had it in her house and put it in the garage. Like, yeah, I'm done with that. Move aside. And she said she started adding butter to all of her spaghetti and eating Chinese food, and everything went out the window, of course. Mm-hmm. And she said it was all right because she stopped weighing herself. Gee, I wonder how that was going to work.
She stopped weighing herself, and when she finally did, she said she screamed. That must be the worst feeling in the world, to step on the scale and scream. I mean, I've stepped on the scale a couple times, thought to myself, I should slim down. I got to stop, right? But can you imagine looking and screaming out of pure disgust?
Okay, well, let's bring it down.
That's what she said. She said she was disgusted.
Did she break all of her mirrors in her house, too? Because you can see her fat ass growing. How does she not know that she's expanding?
She knew.
I wonder where this stretch mark came from on the side of my ass. Come on, dude.
You know what? Look, I'm glad we're doing this story because I have something to say on this. Kirstie, let it go. Just embrace it, man.
I kind of agree with you, yeah.
You know what? She doesn't even look that bad there.
No,
okay?
I don't think so.
I mean, there are a lot of dudes that would hit that, okay, and not even quit it. They stick with it, you know. Mm-hmm. And she's, you know how old she is now? She's 58.
Yep.
You look fine for 58, totally fine. And so you like to eat. I like to eat, man. If I'm 58, she's like, oh, I'm gonna lose another 80 pounds. Oh.
That's what she said. I mean, she's hired personal trainers. She's ready to start another diet. She's not doing Jenny Craig again.
That sounds exhausting, man. Mm-hmm. Just let it go. Accept who you are. You're rich. You're fairly famous, and you don't even look that bad. Okay, so you're a little heavy set. So what, man? There's a lot of dudes who are into it.
Kirstie, I'm on your side.
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything. I don't want to get racialist.
Lose the weight. Lose the weight.
Oh, you were saying lose the weight.
Yeah.
I thought you liked the big bone girl.
She's 60 years old, dude. She's going to die at 65 if she doesn't lose her weight.
No.
Look. Wow,
you really
she
think
looks so pretty
if she can afford to lose 83 pounds or however much she's planning on losing, she's probably not that tall. And you're older.
She's 5'8".
She is. She's tall. For a woman,
yeah,
she's tall.
And she's, what, 200 pounds?
No, more, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude.
She's 225 pounds, I believe.
That's ridiculous.
28
That's
pounds.
so unhealthy. No, she's going to die soon. You're getting older.
JR, come on, admit you like those thighs.
Oh, God. Jake. No. But you know what? I don't even think that she needs to go overboard. I think that she needs to find a happy medium between dieting like a psycho and just, eating healthy, enjoying her life, doing exercises that she enjoys. I think that's a key to staying fit. Because I think women, I can't do the boot camp thing. I hate it. I'll go for maybe 2 weeks, and then I'll say, I hate this, I'm not doing it anymore, and then I won't exercise for months. But if I do exercises I like every day, I'm more apt to continue exercising. So she can't do this whole, I'm going to get a personal trainer who's going to starve me to death and, beat me up until I feel like I'm about to die.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to do this till you're 88?
Exactly.
I mean, you're going to gain the weight, lose the weight, gain the weight, lose the weight. Just let it go. Okay, grab some Popeyes, go to work, Kirstie. Let it go, man. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Just enjoy the rest of your life, okay?